So, Arnavi, are you ready?
Mhm.
Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you today. On behalf of the Rhode Island Holistic Healing Association, I am truly delighted to welcome you to our February 2026 webinar, Gratitude in Every Breath, a Yogic Neuroscience Perspective. At RIHA, our mission is to bridge wisdom traditions with modern science and create spaces where healing, insight, and transformation can unfold. Tonight's topic beautifully reflects that vision, bringing together the timeless practice of gratitude with the cutting edge of neuroscience. And before we begin, a quick note. If you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to put them in the chat and we will gather them and address as many as possible during the Q&A segment. It is my great honor to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. Chandra Shekhar Mayan. Dr. Mayan is an educator, author, and neuroscientist who served over 15 years as a professor and director of the Pediatric Neurosurgery Research Program at Northwestern University, Feinberg School of Medicine. As an Eleanor Clark Research Scholar in developmental neurobiology, his groundbreaking research has focused on spinal cord and brain development, work that has contributed significantly to our understanding of how the nervous system forms and functions. He's the best-selling author of The Gravity of Gratitude and has published invited chapters with Springer on gratitude, healthy aging, and longevity. Dr. Mayan is also a leading voice in the emerging field of yogic neuroscience, an aspiring and innovative approach that decodes ancient yogic practices through the lens of modern neuroscience, while also allowing neuroscience to be enriched by yogic wisdom. What makes his work especially powerful is that it's not only academic, it's lived by us in our day-to-day lives. With over 50 years of yogic practice and 25 years of deep meditation, Dr. Mayan embodies the integration of science and spirituality. He also shares his insights with the global audience through his widely followed Yogic Realization channel. Tonight, we have the privilege of learning about how gratitude is not just an emotion, but a measurable neurobiological state, one that can transform the brain, enhance resilience, and deepen our experience of life, one breath at a time. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Chandra Shekhar Mayan. Dr. Mayan, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you, Arnavi. That was so unbelievable. So, where did you get this? All the details from? I didn't share that to you. Wow, wow, wow. Vandana, this is such an honor. And thank you very much for giving me this stage to speak to one of the greatest audiences. I think they are really hungry people over here. I can see that. so I can start sharing my screen. Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Can you see this? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So before I begin sharing some of the beautiful things about the breath in every gratitude in every breath, let me first bow down to existence and say a small prayer in Sanskrit, which essentially means that whatever I say, please let it reach directly to you without any obstacle. That's what it is. It means. Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vitvishavahe. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So this particular topic is about gratitude in every breath, a yogic neuroscience perspective. Yogic practices were taught to me by my father, and my teachers, my PhD advisor, and my life has taught me neuroscience. So this is the bridge between, and the bridge is the breath. Okay. So this is the book I was talking to you about. Vandanaji was talking to you about. And in the book, in the earlier chapters of the book, there is one quote by my dad who says that the root cause of all the problems, be it health related, relationship related, career related, or money related, can be traced back to only one cause, and that is lack of gratitude for what you have been already blessed with. And he said there was a time when I was miserable. So he says, "Are you miserable? Are you suffering?" I said, "Yes. Don't you see it on my face?" He says, "Then it is all your fault. 100%. Whenever somebody has suffering, it is 100% his fault." And I fought with that sentence 30 years. I thought I did not accept that. Okay, I must blame others, right, for my misery. So that would, his sentence, that statement never let me put the blame on others. Always used to put it back on me. And what is that in me that is causing this challenge? That is what I learned eventually. Um, I was born in northern part of India, which is Prayagraj, as you would say. There they were, every day we used to go to temple. There was a small temple, very simple. And before dinner, I would go, all my parents used to go, and my brother, everybody used to go there. And we used to take the shoes off because we are not allowed to take the shoes inside the temple. So we used to keep it outside. So, but keeping it outside means there may be somebody, by the time you come back, it may not be there. So somebody must have been walked away with it. So my father used to stand outside guarding our shoes and slippers and all that, right? So when we come back from the temple outside, his father said, "So, okay, let's go home." He never went inside the temple otherwise. So I thought probably, I don't know when he might have gone or not gone. We didn't care about that. But nonetheless, when I moved to Bangalore at the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, I was a lecturer in psychopharmacology. So which we dealt with the psychoactive drugs and psychotropic drugs and treatment of depression and anxiety and schizophrenia and bipolar and all that good stuff. So that was what I was teaching the MD students there. So in Bangalore, there is a lot of brilliant, beautiful temple, extremely wonderful temple, and very clean and all that. And they had separate cubicles to keep your shoes or belongings, stuff like that. And they'll give you a small token, and you come back and take it. Here also, again, my dad stayed outside, despite the fact that we have kept the shoes and everything in the right place, and it is guarded properly. Why is my dad not going some? I asked this question to myself. When we came home, I asked my dad, "Dad, why don't you go to the temple? Why don't you go? I've never seen you go to the temple." "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Your mom has been always bothering me about going to temple, but you know." "Okay, now that you have asked me, let me ask you. Yeah, just call your mom. I'll let you tell you, both of you." So I called my mom. I said, "Why you go to the temple inside? What is the reason that you go inside the temple?" So a mom thinks all the moms in the universe are the same, no matter who that mom is. So mom, even Lord's mom, Mary would also pray to God for to give such and such thing to her husband, to her son, and all that. I mean, same is with Lord Krishna or Rama. Moms are the same. They go and ask the Lord to take care of their family. That is highest important thing, highest priority people in their life is family. Maybe that time I was having some challenging situation in my job work. So my mother sensed that there is not something good happening to me. So she said, I asked for Shekhar's um, well-being at work. Let that work be going okay. let your health be better, means my dad's health be fine. All that good stuff, this is all I asked for. I said, that is the reason I don't go inside the temple, my dad said. Same reason, because people like you are hundreds of them in there, and all of them are asking. Whereas where I am not able, not even finished with my breath, thanking my breath, because every moment I thank that one breath. Next time I have to thank for that particular breath. Third time I have to thank for that breath. Every moment I am thanking for the breath I am taking. I really do not have the time to ask. In what way can I ask? How can I face the Lord when He has given me so many things and I go and ask again for something else? So I have myself not been able to thank the Lord for everything that He has given me. So many things. I have not been able to thank Lord for you. Even for Shekhar, I have not been able to thank, because I am busy thanking my breath only. And he started to cry. He never wept in his life. Even when his mother, my grandmother, died, he was straight. No problem with him. That's very. But this time he is crying. He said, Lord, I will be the most uh, ungrateful human being on this planet who have not been able to thank you enough. Thank you at all. In fact, forget about enough. I can only thank my breath. And there was a pin drop silence in my home. After that, that was my initiation into gratitude. But do you think I was grateful or having the attitude of gratitude? No. Complaining, criticizing, condemning, um, being upset about things, being arrogant about things. So many things were going on in my life. But then one thing I saw in my dad was he never fell ill, never in his whole life. Throughout life, I never seen him ill, ever. He died, he told the date of his going also, departing. I said, this is the time I will go. Perfectly, I'm done with it and I'm going now. That kind of a life. So I wanted to ask him, I asked him, what is the secret of your health? So just unbelievable health you have. What is the secret? I said, it's for you to find out. Why do you ask me? So I know anyway. So this is actually during this time when the health was going on, there was one of his friends. We went to emergency ward because he had a very high level of heart attack, very strong heart attack. And of course, he died afterwards. When we were coming back, he said, Dad said, the best gift you can give it to your loved one is a healthy you. The best gift. It is not $1 million. It is not home. It is not whatever. Nothing. If you can give the best of your health to your loved ones, that is the ultimate gift you can give. So that when he came back, we had gone to see his friend who eventually died. That is the time when it entered into my head that there is something that my dad is doing which is causing good health also. Anyway, so fast forward, went to Canada. There was a situation for I had 1 year visa only, and I was miserable as usual. Nothing new about my misery was my company all the time. I asked my dad, Dad, I've been trying to uh, apply and nothing is happening. I said, did you thank your situation? I said, why nonsense? This situation, this misery situation. Yes, he said, the misery situation. Yes, this is the thing you have to thank. See, the thing is, in our uh, Indian culture, there are 3, 4 people you have to thank, or consider yourself as the greatest teacher. Consider them as Lord Himself. So one is mother, Matru Deva Bhav, mother. Pitru Deva Bhav, father is as good as God. Athit and Guru Deva Bhav, right? Acharya Deva Bhav means your teacher or guru he is like God. And then there is Atithi Deva Bhava. Atithi means that guest who comes, rings the doorbell and gets, I am here. So that person. Do you think misery is Atithi to you? Because do you ever invite the misery? Never. They just showed up. They shows up, right? So thank them for what, because they have come to tell you something. every misery, every hardship comes to tell you something, and if you do not pay attention to them, you will miss out what they are going to tell you. So sit down with that misery and thank them. I said, you are come here to tell me something important. Let me listen to you. So that kind of a thing. And then he told me the protocol as to on the phone itself. This was the protocol shared by me to me by my dad on the phone. He said, okay, are you breathing? I said, of course I'm breathing. Okay, then take deep breath and say thank. Absolute as much as you can fill up your lungs. Inhale and mentally say thank. Hold for a while. That is called kumbhak, inner antar kumbhak. Kumbhak means hold the breath after inhalation. And then you exhale completely, saying you mentally, and again hold. So this is what he told me, and he said keep doing. And then he said that do the Ujjayi breathing. I think Vandana ji must be teaching or must be showing how to do Ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi breathing is constricted throat breathing. Let's take a little bit. That oceanic sound should be coming out of your throat. That's the kind of breathing. So do that inhalation, Ujjayi inhalation and Ujjayi exhalation, but in between you should pause. That's you do 7 cycles, and after that he said, okay, now tell me what is the problem. I said, which problem? So suddenly this shift is so dramatic, I tell you. Wherever you have any situation, challenge going on, you just focus on your breath and everything falls perfect after that. So he said, aim for minimum 4 breath per minute. So normally we are doing 16 breath per minute if we are breathing, but this one is the thank you protocol is a pranayam in itself. So you do 4 second of inhalation, 4 second of hold, 4 second exhalation, and 4 second again hold. So about 15 to 16 seconds you do one cycle of breath in that way, which means 4 breaths per minute. It automatically comes to that. This is the game changer for me. So the thank you protocol contains 3 components. One is the gratitude component, which means thank and you. And then the second one is pranayam component. Pranayam is basically not just thank you. Thank, pause, you, pause. So that pause is what makes the breathing pranayam. Otherwise, it's just the breathing. The pause makes the breathing the magic, right? And then when you are doing that for a long period of time, all the chakras get activated by default. Somebody says, how do I do chakra meditation and how do I do kundalini and all that? My father was not in favor of all those because he said doing those things requires a very trained teacher, very expert in that field who can hold your focus and energy properly. Otherwise, you will if you have in this kundalini and chakra activation, there is a tremendous energy released. Tremendous energy. If your system is not used to it, it will cause untoward mental challenges. That is what has been seen for a lot of people, and he discouraged me from that. So I said, automatically chakra activation will happen. I'll show you how that worked out in my life. And then when you sit down with that, constantly thank and you thank and you if you do this for a long period of time, suddenly you land up into a meditative component, which is what the chapter 9, the last line of the chapter 9 talks about it. And that particular line, one line contains the entire essential talk later on. So that is not in the book, but here it is, you will see that. So that a peep into the consciousness space in deep meditation. So in that chapter, I sat down for 16 hours at a stretch doing this thank you thing. And something happened, some shift happened in me, and I cannot explain it. So I'm trying my best to use my knowledge of neuroscience to explain it, right? Okay. Now the gratitude. Let's talk about the first component, the gratitude component. Being thankful for whatever you have. That may be anything. Uh, you will suddenly and immediately experience a shift from sympathetic, which is fight and flight response mode, to parasympathetic, which means relaxed and cool and chilled mode. Suddenly, you matter, no matter how much turmoil is going on, if you immediately focus on your breath, deep breathing, say thank, pause, and you're thanking your breath only. You're not thanking anything else. You're just thanking your breath. Thank, pause, you, and pause. Shift shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic nervous system. Now, this is a feeling guidance scale. This is written in most of the psychology books. So I just took that information from there. Highest frequency is consciousness, which means in the zone, right? And then gratitude is one of the very, very close to consciousness. Somebody has, I think Deepak Chopra has talked about the ultimate prayer in this planet is thank you. There is nothing powerful than thank you. And if it comes from your core of your being, nothing like it. So joy, happiness, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation, passion, enthusiasm, eagerness, excitement, positive expectation, belief, optimism, hopefulness, contentment. These are all positive attitude. Positive, high frequency waves come out of your brain, right? Very high frequency, high energy. It suddenly makes you effulgent and like light, almost light. Now that there is the lowest frequency also, and these are the some of them: fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness, jealousy, hatred, rage, revenge, anger, discouragement, blame, worry, doubt, disappointment, overwhelmment, impatience, frustration, irritation, pessimism, boredom. These are all the negative thought pattern, which lowest energy. If you have somebody around you also with that, you will feel the energy dragging you down. This is the power of this red lowest frequency vibration that you can experience. So, but you can go from here to here directly if you go do this thank you one. If you just do thank you protocol 7 times, howsoever fearful you may be feeling right now, sudden jump happen. You don't have to go through these 9 contentment, all that. No, directly into that. And then why is this close to the consciousness? Because this has the highest frequency, very, 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 very high frequency. And there's a lot of scientific work going on in this field, which how to transcend the mundane and go to the consciousness, the very essential nature that we are, right? So my dad said, if you're not feeling any of the green feelings, which means these feelings, these green ones, and or are feeling unfulfilled in your life, which means on the red feeling, you need to thank more and more for what you already have in your life. Now, sometimes you cannot focus on your breath, but you have a watch, right? Thank you for that watch. Thank God for the watch. Thank if you are breathing, of course, you thank the breath. You have anything, you can name, enumerate millions of things. That's why the journaling is so important. The journaling starts the process of thanking more and more for what you already have. Can you thank for your fingers? Yes. Can you think thumb, if missing a thumb, just tie your thumb one day and with a tape, scotch tape, or duct tape, and start to work without that thumb. You will be feeling, my goodness, I never thanked my thumb ever. Man, that is so important. We take it for granted. That's what it is. So what happens when you are in the red zone? There is this hormone which is with this particular hormone, cortisol, which is released by the adrenal. Now, how does that release? The hypothalamus understands the red zone very well. All the fear, the right? Fear, anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, all that stuff. This hypothalamus senses it. Now, it releases one hormone called corticotrophin release hormone, which activates the pituitary, anterior pituitary, and that releases another hormone, ACTH, which is adrenocorticotrophic hormone, and that goes into the bloodstream and activates adrenal cortex, which is sitting on top of your kidney, just the small organ just on top of your kidney. So that particular activation causes cortisol release. So when this is happening, you are in the sympathetic nervous system mode. But normally what happens is this is there, it has a feedback, negative feedback. But in excessive cortisol, this negative feedback goes away. So it doesn't work that way. So fear, stress, or low frequency emotion, which means the red emotion, increase in cortisol causes fight and flight response. Now that the first target of that cortisol release is impaired immune system. Once the immune system is gone, that leads to inflammation, systemic inflammation, not the entire body is inflamed, right? And it causes metabolic disorder, thyroid dysfunction, weight gain, neuropsychiatric disorder, anxiety, depression. Another one is neurodegenerative disorder, Alzheimer, disease, dementia, all that stuff, autoimmune dysfunction, cancer, and digestive and cardiac disorder. So if you find IBS and all that, that is purely because of this increase in cortisol in our bloodstream. So basically, you have to block this. This is normally normal behavior. Negative feedback stops the cortisol, but when it is too much of cortisol in the system, this feedback doesn't work anymore, and that is the cause of all the problems, health problem. And my father never had any of this, which means he had never cortisol in no cortisol in. He was the most happy man I have ever seen, most happy, happiest person in the planet. You can see him laughing from a distance, coming with his friends from 1 block away. You know, my dad is coming. Now I know. So that's what it is. Many malfunction in HPA, means hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, results in all these challenges: anxiety, bipolar, insomnia, PTSD, borderline personality disorder, ADHD, major depressive disorder, burnout, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, alcoholism. This is the outcome of that excessive HPA activation. Now, this is an observable phenomenon in sympathetic nervous system. When in panic mode, we will see this pupil dilated heavily. In parasympathetic mode, this is what is dilated. So this has been used by this particular technique of trying to uh, analyze people. You may be apparently looking cool, but your eyes will tell you more than what the cool is all about. So this on in Israel checkpoints, these are the ones. There are some people and they can track those people just based on the eye pupil dilation. So that's what they do. Now, what does thank you that the gratitude component does to your brain? So this is the data that I have. Basically, I am just drawn my own figure because I could not take the picture and use it for my purpose here. So what it says is there is the brain area just behind your eyebrows, the center of your eyebrows, just behind it. That is a ventromedial prefrontal cortex, is the key supporting uh, area for gratitude and giving. So when you give something to somebody, even a smile, you are already feeling happy, and that person also feels happy. So you are giving the smile, and that person also feels. So when you are giving from and taking, both have this activation going on. So when you give thank you somebody, thank you, when you say thank you so much, that person's prefrontal cortex is activated and your prefrontal cortex is also activated, ventromedial prefrontal cortex. That is something just amazing. Both people feel happy. So when you say, you just give, if you don't have anything to give, what do you give? Give your smile. Say happy, how are you doing? Good to see you. So that itself makes you feel, starts a great day. Start in the very first thing that happens is this particular thing gets activated. Now, I just want to give a little bit. Prefrontal cortex, there is a whole lot of region in the prefrontal cortex: orbito, ventro, dorso, and ventrolateral and dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO of our brain. CEO of our brain means this is where metacognition means thinking about thinking, goes in this region. So this is a region which is extremely important and for our well-being, and that comes by activation triggered by gratitude. Now, how do they know that this kind of thing gets activated? Say, for instance, a person is made to something so wonderful that has happened to him. Let's say he has had a disease and somehow it got cured. So he is really genuinely thanking the Lord, that Lord, you have saved my life, right? Or some turmoil situation has happened to him somewhere, and now he is so thankful that it is over now. So how do they know that? There is a technique called developed by Japanese scientists, BOLD, which is called blood oxygen level dependent fMRI imaging, functional magnetic resonance imaging. So what happens is, in the functional magnetic resonance imaging, what they do is they take the RBC in that region which has more oxygen. So whenever RBC has more, anywhere, whenever there is activation of that region, blood, oxygenated blood goes there, right? More oxygenated, because the activation requires more oxygen, right? So that oxygen reaching that brain region has a different, say, hemoglobin contains iron, right? So when the iron, it is a ferromagnetic substance, right? Iron is a ferromagnetic substance. So in the presence of magnetic resonance imaging machine, in that thing, the one which is the RBC which does not have oxygen bound will have a different movement, bipolar movement, right? Different spin, I would say, different spin compared to the one which is bound to oxygen, right? The iron which is bound to oxygen will have a different spin versus that. So that is the one which they try to catch. So the more when you are thinking so deeply, this area becomes the active. How did they know that? Because of increased oxygen saturation in the blood in that region. That's how. So this is how they have found out. Glenn Fox is been my very good friend, and he has shared me this particular picture. And Christina, who she used to work. I don't know whether she works right now or not. She works in Wisconsin, and she shared me this particular picture. And they have worked on tremendous level on this gratitude concept. So whenever you experience the feeling of gratitude, whether you are receiving or giving, your brain releases a combination of dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphin, commonly referred as feel good neurochemicals, boosting your energy and immunity. This is the reason. Now I found out, oh my goodness, that's why my dad never, not even one virus might be, the whole area might be contaminated with virus, and my dad never had any problems because his immunity was so strong and high energy, because he was constantly releasing these things because of his gratitude protocol, thank you protocol thing. This is the prefrontal cortex here. This is the split, brain split into left and right. That's what makes it look two. But if you join it like that, you will find that the medial prefrontal cortex activity is correlated with thank you, and of course deep ventromedial prefrontal cortex also. Now, another area which is extremely activated with the people who have been consistently doing this gratitude journaling and gratitude protocol, somehow those people have had this concept of forgiveness. They can forgive most anything. No matter how bad you behave with them, they will be in a very forgiving mode. Do you remember Jesus Christ, Father, please forgive them for they do not know what they're doing? Which means Jesus Christ had this kind of thing going on in his prefrontal cortex and medial prefrontal gyri, this kind of thing. So forgiveness is very, very easy for them. To forgive somebody and let go, fantastic, no problem. They don't hang on to any hurt in the past, they just go on. And those are the people who will never ever suffer from depression and anxiety. Now, another region in the brain is insular cortex, this particular region. So this particular region, gratitude and love and compassion, that is a center for compassion and gratitude, right? Love and compassion. So meditations on compassion, those people who have been constantly in gratitude, they eventually move to love and compassionate feelings all the time, forgiving, love and compassionate feeling. And then when the bull fMRI was scanned on the brain, they found out this particular region also got activated. So this is a sequence. Initially, you do the journaling, then you start doing the thank you protocol, or just thanking for your breath, and then gradually move on to higher and higher level and start to this. This is a very deep region inside the brain, which very, very few people have started to work on, because it was so deep inside, nobody knows what is the function. But recently they have been shown to be region associated with love and compassion. Our brain on gratitude. Now this particular area, this whole area, this particular area, in this is AI means anterior insular, PI means posterior insular cortex. So this whole area is involved in this gratitude process. Number one is cognitive restructuring and evoke possibility thinking, which is basically done by this particular area. Now it reduces fear and anxiety and regulates stress. This is coming from the Trends in Neurosciences journal. So that's what I'm talking about. And now new wires and fires, new neuronal connection. Whenever you are feeling blissed, really blissed out during meditation or after the meditation, this insular cortex is activated the most. And then dopamine and serotonin levels are increased. So this is the brain on gratitude. Now let's come to the pranayama or the life force component, which means breathing part of it. Inhale, hold, exhale and hold. This is one, this portion. Pranayama is considered to be the awareful breathing. So unawareful breathing means you are just inhale, exhale. This is what the empty lungs is. Then you inhale and then you exhale. This is called simple breathing. But pranayam, which is pranic breathing, you call it, yogic breathing. Then you inhale full and then hold for a few seconds. And then you exhale and then again hold for a few seconds. This is called pranic breathing or pranayam. So if you say somebody is saying what is difference between pranic, you are breathing anyway, right? No, there is a hold in between. And what does this hold after the inhalation and what is the hold after exhalation do? This is it lets you go into the manifest consciousness. This is the place where that's a doorway to consciousness, real you, right? The summary of the inhalation and hold. Once you inhale and hold, antar kumbhak they call it in yogic language. Normally we take 21% of oxygen, right? In the air there is 21% oxygen, rest is all other gases, nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, this and that, right? But when you're doing just the breathing, only 5% is taken up and 16% you exhale out, right? That 5% is not good enough to run the body. So we breathe again more and more and more and more. So we keep breathing. So that makes you basically breathe 16 times per minute, which means we are decreasing our lifespan. If everybody is given the same breath amount, numbers, so if you can consolidate on become miser in using your breath, but with full oxygen, then pranayama is the solution for that, right? Compare the dog breathing and the tortoise breathing. Who lives longer? Obviously tortoise or turtle, right? They live longer. 300, 500 years, they live longer. A yogi live longer than that also. Always a yogi is living always higher, longer than everybody else. And healthy also, not just long living, but having a mask on your face and oxygen tank next to you. Though that's not long living, that is miserable living. He is living a life, really robust life. So when you inhale and hold for 4 seconds, more oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange take place. And that brings you 5% is exhaled, oxygen is exhaled, and 16 is held inside. That is the power of that. So which also brings you 4 breaths per minute, right? That is healthy. What is the benefit of exhalation and hold? This was the most important thing I found out, that this particular Bahya Kumbhak, which they call it transient hypoxia, this in the scientific literature, you will never find Bahya Kumbhak or exhalation and hold research. But when you type in, okay, what was that doing? You have exhaled all the carbon dioxide and now wanting to inhale, but you're holding it little bit. So that is called transient hypoxia. You're creating a very 4 second, 5 second transient hypoxic situation in your blood, which means transient increase in blood carbon dioxide level, because metabolism is constantly going on. You need more oxygen to expel all the carbon dioxide. But during that time, what happens? Hematopoietic stem cell system in your bone marrow. In your bone marrow, that is where the blood is made, right? Inside the bone marrow. Those are the hematopoietic stem cells over there. They get activated. So, and they produce new blood. and immune cells. There are 23 different types of blood cells that are formed in the bone marrow. So all of them are robust, energy driven, and high level of RBC and WBC and neutrophils and basophils and T cells or B cells. All those cells are generated there. So immune cells. Another one is neuroplasticity. Actually, transient hypoxia actually increases the stem cell proliferation in your different parts of the body. Everywhere there is stem cell, but we do not know how to trigger them. They are quiescent. But if you do this exhalation and hold, you can trigger all your stem cells, neuroplasticity and neurogenesis, neuroprotective. In Alzheimer, this is, and some other time I'll show you how this particular cells in the brain, the neural stem cells in the brain migrate to those damaged area in the brain and repair them. This is some unbelievable thing that is recently has been developed in UCLA, not UCSF actually, not UCLA, UCSF, and they have shown that it can solve Alzheimer or slow down Alzheimer progression. Uh, Promotes chondrogenesis, new bone formation. This is important. Cardiomyocyte. There have been some people who have done this transient hypoxia, and they have found that new heart muscles get formed because heart also has stem cells. They can repopulate the damaged area. And of course, liver regeneration, which means basically it is stem cell promoting process in our own body, using our own body's stem cell to regenerate and repair itself. So what does the Ujjayi pranayam do? This is the region, this is the tongue here, and this is the nose here. Just behind this is a pons, this is spinal cord, this is a pons, and this is medulla. So when you constrict your throat little bit like this particular thing, this particular, I don't know what they call it, that epiglottis, it's shifting here, right? And when you are breathing from a small orifice, uh, whenever, just like, you are trying to squeeze your um, garden hose. So what happens is when you squeeze the garden hose, the water goes with a faster velocity, right? Same is here. So when you're squeezing this aperture, air goes with a faster velocity. What happens is the faster the velocity, the more low pressure develops here. So this portion gets flabbing, and like it kind of generates a pressure differential, which activates the medulla and the pons. So this is exactly what this area gets. The respiratory component from the side is like, it looks like this, and the respiratory component from the front looks like this. So what happens? There are 5 receptor types in this, and there are chemoreceptors as well as um, mechanoreceptors, which means any differential in the air movement in your windpipe and with the pressure differential created by epiglottis movement through Ujjayi breathing. These are the different receptor types which gets activated by the breath, and all the receptor types have different regions inside the brain to go and activate. So this is what it is. So this is very few thing, but if I consider with all the different functions, it will be too crowded slide here. So what it does is, this is a cardiovascular center, inspiration center. They have this center is going all in the brain, where this actual brain center communicates to the rest of the body. So from the breathing center, this gets activated, and from there the brain gets activated. Different regions in the brain get activated, and all the 5 physiological functions are taken care of there. And that is exactly what 5 physiological functions are. Pancha prana, 5 pranas. Vandana ji will explain to you one day what those 5 pranas mean, or she might have already explained to you. So the 5 pranas are the 5 physiological functions that the breathing controls, and the disease only happen in those 5 physiological functions only. So what are the 5 physiological functions? These are the in yogic language. This is prana, apana, vyana, samana, udan, and all that, right? So this is what it is. But in your breathing being breath being the same, the same denominator, breath being the same denominator, it activates those 5 receptors. Pranvayu activate a respiratory control center, circulatory control center, neuroimmune center, excretory center, and digestive. There are no disease other than this. This is it. Neuroimmune is there, circulatory disease, heart problems, excretory kidney problem, or digestive issues, and respiratory. These are the 5 major diseases that ever happen. But if those diseases can be controlled by breath, so you cannot control circulation willingly. You cannot control excretion. You cannot control digestion by your willpower, right? Breathing is the only involuntary phenomenon that can be controlled voluntarily. Breathing is the only involuntary phenomenon, which all these are involuntary, that can be controlled voluntarily. So through breathing, you can enter into these areas to control them. And these areas are situated right here in your just below the uh, just above the spinal cord at the pons and medulla oblongata region. Now, this is exactly what I was thinking about. As this thank you protocol is all about personal transformation. What happens is when you are thanking, this particular area gets activated. Which one? The Manipura chakra. Or this. So when you're fulfilled, satisfied with food and all that. So whenever you're feeling fulfilled, it is basically you always thank. Say, oh God, thank you so much. This is so good. Then when that happens, you are basically feeling fulfilled. And that feeling is basically governed by Manipura chakra. So my father said, if you can activate this chakra by gratitude, the rest of the 2 below centers and the 2 above chakras get activated by default. And that is true. When the love and compassion happens to somebody, which is basically constantly uh, having an attitude of gratitude towards everything, obviously you will have love in that. The insular cortex, remember that? And when you say forgiving region, this is the forgiving. Why Muladhara chakra is considered the forgiving region? Because Muladhara has the earth element in it. And do you know earth is the most forgiving entity in this universe? We do so much damage all the time. We do whatever negative things to the earth, but she never gets angry at us. She is constantly forgiving. So this particular chakra gets activated. And of course, when you are so forgiving, you let go easily. So this is what the peeling of the onion is all about. Once this happens, gratitude happens in your life, then forgiveness is so default. Let go is equally default. Love automatically happens. And then acceptance for everything happens. And you communicate, even if somebody's fault might be there, you are ready to accept that person the way it is, the way they are. I don't judge. Non-judgmental thing happen when you have the Vishuddha chakra activated, and then surrender with absolute clarity of thinking. Because what happens here now, the prefrontal cortex is getting activated. Uh, you can surrender, and then you can experience grace, Sharnagati. There is a surrender is basically Samarpan, and Sharnagati is grace. So I'll explain to you a little later, just like that. So what happens is in the last chapter, in the last line of chapter 9, the gravity of gratitude. Somebody who has the book right now can read that thing. Why wait till tonight? I thought. I just sat down mentally saying thank while inhaling deeply and you while exhaling for 16 hours straight, a deep meditative trance. So the meditative component now comes into play, a peep into consciousness and deep meditation, direct experience of consciousness, our default nature. This is actually our default nature. Consciousness, existence, consciousness, and bliss is our default nature. Let's do that. So when you sit down in this thank you protocol, breathing and pranayam, for what happened in me in the 16-hour period, this is probably what has happened. I do not know what happened. I'm trying to best judge through neuroscience and other data, pulling it together. Maybe I don't know what I'm wrong or right, but I'm just trying to explain it whichever way. So when the slow breathing, four breath per cycle, um, this leads to decreased delta percentage, increase. In a sense, what it does is it helps deeply. This is interpreted as decreased delta. Delta means this is decreased delta, the green one, and increased theta, the blue one, alpha, this one, and beta, this one. So on EEG, all these things are decreased, right? Or some of the increase, some are decreased. What is essentially means is we are deeply relaxed, very relaxed, yet focused wakefulness rather than drowsiness. It's not drowsiness. If you are getting drowsy, that's a sleep, but you are very much awake. It's like a deep sleep in total awareness. This is what it is. Now, deep breathing leads to meditative state. The brain waves shift from beta to slower, more relaxed alpha, right? And then the theta, deep relaxation, bridging the consciousness, and the theta, deep meditation, which is a blissful state. So all this stuff happens in the process of that 16-hour whatever I was experiencing. This must have happened to me, and it is a complete shift in my perspective about life after that. So this is how the research in Wisconsin has revealed what happens when the mind wanders and the thoughts begin to stray in the beginning of meditation. So in the first 10 minutes of meditation, how many people felt, my goodness, I am not interested in let me go home. Let me dig some dirt in my yard. I would rather do dishes than sitting here. This is boring, man. This million thoughts are coming. I am more disturbed than ever before. What is this meditation all about? But that is the beautiful part of it. The posterior cingulate cortex, all this colored part will get activated in essence, right? Don't worry about the names and all that. But I'm just telling you that when in the beginning of the meditation, this stuff is activated. Now what happens is this awareness of distraction is picked up by the salience network consisting of insular and anterior cingulate cortex. So initially this was activated, this orange part was activated in the left one. Now this gets inactivated and this is activated now. So what happens is this distraction is picked up by the salience net. This salience network is the beautiful part of your how to get you out of the distraction. The distraction itself activates this, right? So insula. So how many people you have seen or must have yourself might have experienced in deep meditation that tears somehow comes out of your eyes for no reason. Why it comes out, I don't know, but it just comes out, which means the insular cortex got active. This is a zone of compassion. It's compassion towards yourself. That is, self-compassion is the first indicator that you are growing, a transformation is happening, and this is the place where it happens, right? Then what happens? Dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and inferior parietal cortex, the brain area that help disengaging the attention from the distraction. Now see that here it is this absolute distraction. This distraction is picked up by this salience network. And the salience network passes this message to disengage that attention from the distracting thought and focus on your breathing. So this is so wonderful. So, but you have to go sit there. Don't just do 10 minutes. Just go a little bit more, little bit more, and everything will be good. So there you are. Another one. Now what happens is this the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex helps sustain the focus on the rhythmic breathing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold. So which means you are doing pranayam all 16 hours. And that is the beautiful. And after even the focus on the rhythmic breathing is transcended, because then you are landing up into the consciousness space, your true nature. This is where the meditation needs to lead to. You will know that you are not the body, but you have a body, because you can see this. And this is the brain activity during contemplation meditation. And this whole thing, in the beginning, it is very high. And towards the end, it is just not there. So if at this time somebody takes your brain scan, you will be almost if somebody is not aware of those different wave patterns, they will say this fellow is dead already. But it's not dead. He is so alive and absolutely alert. This particular study was done by Davison Lab in Wisconsin and is published in Scientific American. So this is what happens in the first initial stage, in the 3D states of consciousness, where this total distraction is going on. We have this ego, phantom identity. I'm so and so. I'm a PhD. I'm a neuroscientist. I'm a director. I'm this. I'm that. Whatever that nonsense that goes on in one's head. This is I, me, and mine zone. Fearful. Why I, me, and mine happens because of the fear of identity. That's all. We are so stuck with the white coat and the stethoscope and whatever that we are, that keeps us isolated from, and that is a phantom identity. Limited feeling. The struggle is there. Competition is there. Everybody that you see is a challenge to you. It's not a friend to you. He is a challenger to you. Always struggle, physical and material and all kind of struggle. Linear and logical thinking is there. So too much left brain activation, non-authentic, non-aligned, dualistic, and disconnected feeling. You feel trapped and you want to break out of it. And what do you do when you break? What do you want to do after when you are feel trapped? You go to the bar and get drunk, and you feel, oh my God, I had a good time. That's not good time. That's a bad time actually. But if you sit for another 15 to 20 minutes, this particular thing will activate it, right? And then that is in and another 20 to 40 minutes, this region get activated. With this time, what you do, it is a 4D states of consciousness, which is the integration phase, the aligning phase, and the healing phase. And standing at the threshold, it's almost at the breakthrough, but people just get up after that. Don't get up, just sit, keep sitting. Over here, if you just let go of 10, 20 minutes, you land up here. But people leave here and then go out, move out. They never experience the true nature, ever. And of course, if you do 40 to 60 minutes, this is how the whole thing happens. This is a fact. This has been confirmed. This timing is not wrong. Everybody and anybody can feel it, provided they practice it, right? This is egoless feeling, unlimited feeling, and authentic feeling. Sees everything as one. The plant and human being and the ant and the butterfly and the elephant and the whales and polar bear, everything looks same. Everything not looks same. We understand that same energy is throbbing in everywhere. That oneness is experience. Love thy neighbor as thyself. That is what happens. When Jesus Christ said, love thy neighbor as thyself, he sees in the neighbor the same essence as me. I am feeling the same essence, inner essence in me as much as what he is in the neighbor. So I love that neighbor as just the way I love myself. Unlimited feeling. It is so effortless, non-physical, more real, right? Non-linear thinking is there. Fluid thinking. You feel inspired. People say, how do you feel inspired? Sit down. Sit down for 60 minutes plus. Inspiration will come. There's a chapter and the new inspiration in the book. So let's dive deep into it. Let's dive deep into this consciousness space, right? But what prevents us from diving deep into ourselves is the lack of true understanding of what gratitude is. Lack of true understanding. What thank you doesn't cut it. Oh, I'm thanking. No, you have to understand what gratitude is and where it stems from. This is what it is. We cannot understand the true meaning of gratitude without first appreciating grace, right? Grace is something which is undeserved favor. It cannot be earned. Cannot do enough effort to earn grace. Grace is given freely. All you have to be is open to it, and then it is freely given. Now, gratitude is the most beautiful flower that arises after we understand what truly grace is. Right? So grace is the bud actually. The bud of the grace opens. It becomes a flower. Soon, not only one flower, but millions of flowers bloom. And when even one more flower blooms because of your blooming, know well the spring has come. So if you understand grace little bit also, grace is something which is always, and I'll tell you, sorry about that. Uh, I'll tell you what that let go, that remember I was talking about the surrender, the Samarpan and the Sharanagati. Samarpan means that actually English language does not have the word for Samarpan and Sharanagati separate. We only just say surrender. When you surrender completely, you will know the true meaning of grace. And that, let's say, this is my way of understanding. There is a glass house close to the ocean, right? Hilton Head Island, let's say, whatever that is. And a bird got trapped inside somehow. And bird is trying to make way to outside, and it gets hit by the windows, panes, and all the glasses. After some time, the bird gets tired and falls down. And a very, very, very kind-hearted lady picks up that bird and opens the beak and puts water in that, and gives him little bit food to eat and some seeds and things like that. The birds feel comfortable afterwards, and you take that bird to through the window and let it go, and he doesn't want to go now. He feels so comfortable at that point. At the point where he has fallen down and bruised his nose and everything else, he felt that there is no way I can get out of this. So he tried his best, everything he did best, but nothing happened. But at this time, when he is sitting in somebody's hand like that, this is the thing that happened to Jesus Christ. On the cross, he was sitting there with hands like that, and he said, Father, have you forsaken me? Even you have forsaken me? A complaint happened. Meaning that ego was telling him that you did not come to rescue me. I was hoping that you will come. So immediately, because he was a realized master, he felt, oh my God, complaint happened. No, no, no. Let thy will be done. Let thy will be done is called Sharanagati in our language. And Samarpan is the one when he fell down, completely fell down, and he had no hope for survival. Yes, I am dead now anyway. But afterwards, the bird feels, let thy will be done. Once that happens, let thy will be done is the sign of grace. And then what is that bird doing outside when he is let go outside and sitting outside in one of the trees? He's saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. So Samarpan is the way ego remains. I did Samarpan. I fell down. I let go. But I is still there. In Sharanagati, which means when let thy will be done, when happen, there is no ego. Right? And there is no effort needed to that effect. What self-realization is in the language of knowledge. In Vedanta and in the there are so many Upanishadic languages. That end of the Upanishad, Vedanta is there. They talk about self-realization, right? In the language of knowledge, self-realization is known as Sharanagati in the language of devotion. That's all it is. So this is the gravity of gratitude is only can be felt when you understand the juice of grace. I have been asked this question by so many people that I do not I do not feel the same way you feel about gratitude. I said you have to experience grace first. For no apparent reason, you have been given the breath. For no apparent reason, you have been given the body. For no apparent reason, you have been given the air in the oxygen and everything else. Can you not experience this grace? This is grace. Did you earn it? No. Did you work hard for it? No. But you got it. So that's what it is. So this is a place I stop. Thank you so very, very, very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mayanil. That was like, I have tears in my eyes. I'm like, my throat is choking actually. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. I cannot describe what I'm feeling here now when the slide of grace came in, right? So thank you. Thank you so much.
In our in Tulsidas Ji Maharaj, there's a very good, very beautiful poet. He said, Lord has done me good, so good, not because I earned it, because He is good. That's why He did good to me.
Beautiful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. So there is one question.
Yes,
Kendra is asking, does 60 minutes of yoga nidra do the same thing?
yes, it does. Yes. But you should not sleep because there is a small area in the in Yoga Nidra where you may get into sleep, but stay awake, and it will do the same thing. Yes.
Any
I
other
have a
questions? Yeah, please
yes,
go
I
ahead.
have a question, Vandana. Um, can you clarify the breathing? Is it four
Yeah.
seconds? Like how does
Oh yeah.
that go?
Okay.
Yeah,
Dr.
So
Mayanil, how about we do a small exercise?
yeah.
yes, it will be great. It will be great. Yes. You take a deep breath. First of all, exhale, and now you take a deep breath and mentally say thank. And the can you hear my sound coming from your throat? My throat. Say, uh, how do you create that sound? Let's say you have a glass, right? A mirror, let's say. You have a mirror, you want to fog that mirror. So, how you do that? You do that, right? No, you don't say, you don't do that. That don't fog the mirror. When you say, you can fog the mirror. Same sound should come out with the mouth closed. You got it? Okay. Now, this is how you breathe in. Hold and breathe out. Hold for 4 seconds. And now you breathe out. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhale. So this is how you do that. And in when you're doing that, say thank mentally for the breath, not to anybody else, just for your own breath. Because that breath, without that breath, do you care the world exists or not? Do you even
Mhm.
care the house exists or not? Do you even care you nothing happen matters if you don't have that breath. That is the ultimate most important thing in your life. Breath. So if you do that, you can let's say all of us, let's do few of the breath like that. I'll just I'll just do this and then hold it like this. Okay, let's do that. And mentally say thank. So this is how you do it.
So
It
to be
takes
clear, is it 4 up, hold, 4 down, hold?
correct. It is
Okay.
almost a square breathing. This
Yeah.
square breathing is being taught to Navy SEALs, Green Berets, all those people. In fact, they are taught starting with 4. It is a square breathing.
Yeah.
Starting with 4, then the 8, then 16, and all that. They keep increasing. As and
Uh-huh.
when you go on, you can take inhalation 16 second, hold 16 second, exhale 16 second, and another hold 16 second. So that's why they are one man army. Remember, Navy SEALs and all that, they know the immense strength. They can control every physiological function that by their breath.
Mhm.
So I
Any
have
other?
one question. Yeah.
Yes,
So you must be knowing the Kriya Yoga and all pranayam,
yes,
right? The
yes,
Kriya. So just like Yoga Nidra, do we get the same effect what this thank you protocol and the Ujjayi
yes,
gives in
yes,
and
yes.
in the Kriya Yoga
Perfect.
as well?
Yes, yes. Of course, Kriya Yoga can enhance it little more.
Hmm.
That's what I got uh, to learn from a very realized master.
Hmm.
So that helped me a lot. But that is only about breathing. Kriya Yoga is all about breathing and bandhas. Bandhas. Later on, I will some other time I will talk you how why is exhale so important. What exhale does, if you watch when you exhale, what you're doing is you're trying to exhale everything by pushing your stomach in and your diaphragm up. Have you observed that when you inhale, exhaling out completely, what you're doing is putting your stomach in completely. What that does is there is a huge vagus nerve network around our belly, big, massive vagus nerve network. You will see it just crazy. It's just unbelievable. So what that mechanoreceptors in the vagus nerve endings, they get compressed and they send the signal directly to the thalamus, and thalamus is what sends it everywhere. So that activation of the thalamus starts right here, not right there. Activation of thalamus is controlled by the vagus nerve in your abdomen, which is basically Manipura chakra. Once that gets activated with the deep breathing and exhale, and deep breathing, when you say inhale, you doing the diaphragm breathing. You are making the stomach come out. And then when you are exhaling, you are making the stomach go in. Just like a baby. Have you seen a baby sleep very nicely? His stomach goes up and down. Their diaphragmic breathing they are doing very well. And that when they are sleeping, that is the time when their brain is developed the most. Why? Because the Manipura chakra of their system is activating the thalamus, and nothing goes inside the brain without the entry into the thalamus. Nothing, no signal. No signal in the world can go in the brain without the eh, gateway of the thalamus. So thalamus activates all that. That particular terminology is called thalamocortical fibers. With thalamocortical activation, they call it. It sends fibers, neurons all over the brain and receive the neurons from every part of the brain back again into the thalamus. So there is a very beautiful regulation goes on there. So yeah. So what you said is at actually the thalamus and that region that I showed you that part actually is the Agya chakra.
Hmm.
Agya chakra is not something round or something. There are a set of nuclei in the brain which controls a lot of functions. And that function, controlling the data function, is done by the Manipura chakra actually.
Okay. There are few. Lean is asking, are there any? Sorry, are there any yogic chants for breathing?
Oh, beautiful. Yes. Now, yogic chants are there. Like say, Om Namaste Astu. No, no, I'm not going to, I have to sit straight and take a deep breath. I will say this in one exhalation complete. So and I am going to, while you are doing that, you can start to exhale and see where you can control it. So I'm going to chant it, but what you're going to do is, the moment I start the chant, you start to exhale. First inhale. Okay, everybody inhale, and I'm going to chant. ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यंबकाय त्रिपुरांतकाय त्रिकालाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय मृत्युंजयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः. I am putting my stomach deep inside. So this is such a big chant. What happens is, it is the most unbelievable chant to activate your vagus nerve. So because you have to do it in one exhalation. This is huge one. This is pretty big. So actually I'm sitting in the chair. When I'm sitting like cross-legged, I can do a really good one. So when you can inhale that mentally saying chant, inhale that much, hold that much again, and exhale that chant. So you do 4 chants in one breath. That is like one breath cycle in 1 minute. That's what it is.
Do you have this on your YouTube channel?
I'm making it this one.
Okay.
I'm
So
not
that I
done
can
yet.
share the link with our audience today.
Yes, yes. Actually, this is only in Shivratri day I learned this. I said, oh my God, this chant is one breath. Not, you don't have to break it. This is one complete exhalation, and in that exhalation I watch my own body. I say, oh my God, my stomach is all the way into my spine. So which means I am activating my Manipura chakra doing that. So this is how it is.
Mhm.
One chant which is exhale only. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
there are Vishnu Sahasranam also the same way. Vishnu Sahasranam has two lines of slokas or stotra, right? So you chant that, inhale and chant that, exhale, hold and exhale and hold. So you can do that, but you have to listen to that when you are doing that. You cannot speak
Mhm.
because if you want to do the pranayam of it, then you'll have to do inhale same amount, hold same amount, exhale same amount, and inhale again, and hold same and inhale again. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
So these rishis are just unbelievable. My goodness, what all things they have done. And now neuroscience, I'm learning more about what they did was so unbelievable. Just to you can control your own physiology like this through your breathing alone. Because there are 5 centers in the brain which control from here, which is controlled by this, and this is controlled by the breath. And breath is the only involuntary phenomenon which can be controlled voluntarily. And I say, oh my goodness, these people can control hunger, they can control everything. Crazy.
Yeah.
The yoga science is so deep. It is so deep. Every day I learn something. This chant I learned like last Sunday.
Oh, wow.
And I said, man, this is so good. I learned that first time in my life, the whole chant. I memorized this instantly and I did that. I said, well, let me try that. ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यंबकाय त्रिपुरांतकाय त्रिकालाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय मृत्युंजयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः. Okay, I'm done. No more breath away. Now after that you stop for a while and then inhale deeply again.
Mm.
Only doing this itself is good enough.
Mhm.
You don't have to do anything.
Um, Next question, Linda is asking, does it matter if you sit or lie down? Also, sometimes you fall asleep during meditation. Why isn't
Yes.
your brain sustaining those area that you mentioned?
So the thing is, that is the only challenge with Yog Nidra. Yog Nidra is a very beautiful thing. It silences you down, all that good stuff. However, for going further into understanding consciousness and experiencing that directly one on one, the spine should be straight. That much I know. If the spine is straight and vertical, then you will have no sleep going on there. You will not be sleeping. But in Yoga Nidra, spine is supine here like that, and there's high chance that I almost always when I do Yoga Nidra, I tend to sleep. So I always sit straight, and that helps a lot.
Sometimes, like in group classes, I have observed like people do the Kriya Yoga, the pranayam, then the meditation like starts, and people fall asleep.
I
I think,
know. Because it's so peaceful. You feel like, oh, my mind has no thoughts coming in. They're so relaxed, and you feel totally at lull, almost feeling sleepy.
yeah, yeah,
But
and
that is the place. It's just something like you're going to Utah, that Arch Mountain and all that. You plan to go everywhere, and by the time you reach there, you're already the kids are sleeping because the lull of the travel has made them so sleepy, and the real juice is missing. You are not able to see those beautiful scenery because you are sleeping now. So
correct,
that
correct.
is the time when you have to be awake.
Mm-hmm,
Oh yes, that's what it is. Oh yes. So you have to go a little higher. Just stretch a little bit more.
mm-hmm,
That's all.
yeah, yeah. Any other questions?
Just as a beginner of doing this, how long would you say to do the breathing?
4 4 4 4. That's good enough.
And then for how long?
As per
Like
your
10 minutes?
10 minutes is good enough. Where 5 minutes is to start is good enough.
Okay.
5 minutes is more than enough. Yes, but make sure that you are doing like 5 minutes means 4 breaths per minute means 20 breaths, sort of. That's all. Good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go ahead and make 21 breath. Then you make one more breath extra. That don't strain yourself too much. Just one small, inch by inch, it's a cinch, and yard by yard, it's hard. That's what they say, that right?
Yeah.
Just little bit, just stretch a little bit. That's all. And see, when you start to feel something great happening to you, automatically you will get to do more automatically, and you don't have to do it. It will help you do it. The whole existence will conspire to do it, make you do it easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think both breathing in and breathing out, you are using the nose and not the mouth. Correct?
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you are using
yeah.
the nose only. Your breathing is through
Most,
nose only,
yeah,
but you are doing this constricting your throat little bit. That's all.
yeah. Um, because this is a new concept of like, Ujjayi pranayam. People
Hmm.
use their like breathing out through mouth.
No,
So
Yeah.
no.
you
It is
cannot.
just
Yeah,
with your
yeah.
mouth closed.
Hmm. Any other questions? Okay.
Kendra, you have some questions? Looks like you have some questions. Where is she?
I think, yeah.
No, I don't have questions, but I loved this. This was so good, and I'm ready for bed. So it's like a perfect thing to do right before bed. Soak it all up, all the information and the breathing and the gratefulness. It was beautiful. I'm gonna go
Just thank your
buy
breath.
your book.
That's the only thing you can thank the most.
Yeah, yeah,
There is nothing else. If you don't have breath, what else there to thank?
yeah.
I can't wait to start the practice of the gratitude and to get your book. So I'm
Yes, yes.
excited and I want to cry on page 146. Whatever.
No,
Whatever page everyone's
if
crying at.
you read the book very slowly. That is my most sincere request to you. Read it slowly.
Okay.
And sometimes after some chapters, you will say, "Oh, wow, what did I miss in earlier chapter? Let go back again." You will always go back again and again to the same chapter over again and again.
Yeah.
This is how book is read. That book is read like that only. You go ahead and suddenly found, what did I miss? Let me go back again. And then you go back again, and then you read that again, and then you highlight it with a highlighter and all that. This is how I've
Yeah.
seen people who have read this, they have colored it 10 different colors every time they find out something interesting.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So, Dr. Namayanil, thank you. Thank you so much for being here and sharing
Thank
all the knowledge tonight with all of us. We all are so grateful for all your wisdom and sharing this.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I am honored that you allowed me to talk to your group. And it's just beautiful people, most wonderful people I have ever seen. Great, great people. And thank you for listening to me today. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a
Yes.
good night.
Bye. Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.